Hi guys, it's Freddy here, back on the desktop. I'd like to apologise for having made no videos in the last week. I've been crazily busy. Basically had the first playtest of Beyond D6. I've meant to have made a video about that, but it's obviously led to bug testing and bug fixing because it was the first playthrough with other people apart from me using it. But enough of that. Here we are with a retro RPG. And this week I would like to present Cosmic Encounter, which isn't an RPG at all. But it has RPG elements, so I'm saying it works. Cosmic Encounter's a 1977 board game. Now if I open it up, we can see it has a lovely stack of cards here, which I will put to one side. It has a hugely comprehensive, 8-page manual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 page. Ha, I was over-exaggerating. We have the different species or powers, however you want to phrase it. We have the board, counters, destiny cards, and hyperspace cone. And randomly in the bottom of the box, as happens many times, we have a little fanged mouth. Hello, little fanged mouth. Anyway, I will set this up. Move these back out of the way. And set the board up. So we have 1 piece, 2 piece. Nice robust cardboard for a game board here. So it's lasted even though this is a couple of decades old. Let's line that up. So we have these Cosmic Encounter cards, which we shall put here. We have our Destiny cards, which we will put here. Now, the game sets up with each player choosing a colour. So we've got 6 colours. It can be up to 6 players. And you start off with 4 of your cones on each of your planets. So purple gets his cones on here, etc. I'll not bother because I'll drop these and lose them forever. Anyway. It's even got little stands for you to set up your species on. So, in play, what happens is the first player goes. They choose their destiny card, which says who they attack. So if I was playing purple, that doesn't count. And again. Now we get red. If there's a player for red, then we go. Elsewise, we keep drawing until we get a valid player. But let's say there's a red player. So we are attacking red. So if I get a hyperspace cone, then I choose. So they have 4 cones on there. I now get to choose how many of my cones I want to put in attack. Each player also has 7 of these cards, which they do not reveal. And these basically add to the number of cones. So he's got 4 cones there. He's serving up his cards, so let's say his is our highest 18, I'm doing a 30. I'm going to win. But we don't reveal that yet. We don't go for it. We've also got edicts, which stop powers working. But again, we'll come to the powers later. At this stage, what we do is we invite allies. So in return for some kind of deal, the yellows might want to help defend. Or they might want to help me attack, or whatever. So people can get involved in warfare in other sectors. And like that, it's kind of like Risk, I suppose. Counters go into the void in the middle when they're killed. Whoever gets the highest wins. You get 1 counter back per turn. However, you can do things like if you compromise against a player who's attacking, all the cones you lose, you get to convert into cards that you choose off them. So you can steal a bunch of their cards and abilities. What else? If you both play compromise cards, then you come to a deal. You know, I'll give you one of my bases in exchange for a bunch of my cards. And you can offer people deals like that. Again, as it sounds, a fairly basic game. But what makes it different is these, which are your races. They get randomly assigned at the start. So you shuffle the cards and you choose them. So, Laser makes opponent play blind. On the other side, each card has more detailed rules. For Laser, basically, if I'm attacking him and my ability is Laser, I get to choose which of his 7 cards he plays. So, he's got his cards, and I go, that one. So he's not necessarily playing his best. He might play a compromise, he might play an edict, he might play one of his rubbishy cards, he might play one of his best. But he cannot use his best card against me, I get to choose. Rack tortures opponent. You may torture him once for every token you have in the challenge. On each torture, you put one of his tokens into the warp or one of his cards into the discard pile when you're making a deal. You can save other people's tokens from the warp. You can unlimitedly move your tokens around between planets. You can give away your cards. But these really change it. Seize other players' cards, so you can look at somebody's pack selection. You don't get top-up cards until you've only got edict cards left. So if you've played all your attacks, and you've got a compromise and some edicts, you have to play the compromise as your only card in your next battle. And only when you've got an edict, you turn those in, and you draw more cards from the pack. It's a surprisingly fun game. I haven't explained it very well at all. I haven't demonstrated it at all. And from 6 pages of rules, there's a lot of discussions where you try and work out how things work. Because some of these powers in here are really not as straightforward. Plays 2 challenge cards really straightforward. Takes other people's tokens to warp. Trades hands with opponent. Each token is worth 4. So if you've got 4 on there, it's actually worth 12. Now, you get to see the opponent's card before they turn it over. Just lots of little abilities, and some of them have a bit of role-playing in. Where was one? The Skeptic doubles risk of challenge. So he can turn around and say, oh, I think you're going to lose. Or you're going to win on this. And if he's right, then both sides lose double the amount of tokens. It's really interesting. It's an amazingly fun game. When it first came out, a lot of reviewers gave it sort of 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 9, as seems to have been one of the strange scales. Now, I was given this copy a few years ago. A friend was moving house and chucking out a lot of his gaming stuff. And I, as you may have noticed, have a lot of junk in my house. And I keep a lot of junk. So I was only too happy to take away his gaming stuff. And this was one of them. And I sat down one evening with my 2 sons. We wanted to play a board game. I dug this out. And we had a whale of a time. We had great fun for hours and hours. We dug it out a couple more times. It was simple enough for my sons, who at that time, the youngest wasn't even a teenager, to play. Some of the abilities were more complex and we had to explain how they were useful to him. But it's a really good game. Now, I understand there's a new version come out. With any luck, they've helped simplify the rules and explain them a bit more. Because although it's only 6 pages, there's a lot of reading through and trying to work out what they meant going on in the game. This is the 1986 edition. There's lots of booster packs now. I can only highly recommend this game. This is one of the first retro ones where it's widely available. Go for it. Cosmic Encounter, highly recommended by me. Loads and loads of fun. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you all later. Bye now.